Hi everyone, Inspiring People, it's my new concept. It's a new video series where I talk and I meet some inspiring people. So today it's a special guest, it's my older brother Alex.
Hey, what's up everyone?
So Alex, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great in London. So happy to see you in London, and this is so fun that I get to do an interview with my younger brother, so that's great.
Yeah. And what's your job? What are you doing in life?
So what am I doing in life? Well, I work in the crypto industry, so blockchain. So most of you maybe have heard of Bitcoin, which is this peer-to-peer virtual currency where people can just send money online. But so I work not in Bitcoin, but in Ethereum, which is a cryptocurrency where you can code any sort of value online. So it can be money, it can be equity, real estate, art, collectibles, all of these new items of value or financial products. That's what you can do. And so I'm working on the Ethereum blockchain, and I'm building applications on it.
Okay, perfect. So what is your background? What do you did in the past?
Yeah, sure. So my background, well, I'm your brother, so I grew up in Boulogne-Billancourt, which is next to Paris, and at 18 I did 3 years of university. So it was a bachelor in business management and IT, which is an old word for computer science.
And where is your university?
It was in Manchester, so it was in the UK. That's where I learned English. And so I did 3 years there, and then after that I spent a year doing a startup called CatPad, which is a 3D printing platform, but it didn't really work out. So at the end of the year, I left. So that was in Manchester. So in total, I spent 4 years in Manchester. And so I came back to Paris, and then I was really inspired by startups and technology. That's what my whole ambition, since I'm 15. And so I decided to meet up with people from the family ecosystem. And so the family is this big French incubator in Paris. They have an office there. Well, they just closed it, but at the time they had the office. And so what happened is that I met some people, some young people from Coup d'Etat, which is the young version, the young people community of the family. And so I create this fellowship of young people that just wanted to hack and build stuff on the weekends. And so I did this that year, and I met lots of cool people. And I think this is kind of the year where I decided that I wanted to be in crypto. I wanted to work in the blockchain industry because it's an industry with low barriers to entry. And so what this means is that it's very easy to enter when you're young.
How you discovered that the cryptocurrency, that the world of cryptocurrency, how you discovered it?
So I discovered it a bit before then. So my fellowship was created in 2019. So I discovered it in 2017 because there was a huge boom in the price. So that got me really intrigued. And then I realized that this is an open source world. It's like the new internet. And so it's very easy for a young person to start their career in. There's lots of industries where you need to have a lot of funding, or you need to be a PhD and have so much diplomas and things like this. But the crypto industry is actually pretty easy to enter if you have some energy and you really want to build new products. And so, yeah, I discovered it because I saw that it was growing very fast, and I could have an impact on it because it's not too hard to enter.
And so what are you doing today? Because you were a bit famous on Twitter, for example, and what do you do? You create your own personal token. Can you explain what it is? And,
Yeah, for sure. So as I said, on Ethereum, you can create any kind of token or cryptocurrency. And what happened is that I already had done some projects earlier this year about crypto, so stuff about finance and things like this. And COVID hit, right? So COVID-19 happened in March, and I really did not know what to do because I knew that all of my small projects weren't really important in the grand scheme of things, especially with COVID-19, just everyone's priority just shifted. And So I thought to myself, why not give myself some time to, experiment and brainstorm what I'm gonna do next in the cryptocurrency space, and create a token for people to fund me. So $20,000 is the amount that I raised, and just give me some advice, because I guess that if you own some of my cryptocurrency, you want it to go up, and so you are incentivized to help me. And so this was the reason behind the Alex token, where I just wanted to say, hey, come help me. I'm young, I'm ambitious, I have potential, and I really want the help of the community. And this was really successful because I raised $20,000, and now I've done many experiments with it, and it's pretty cool.
And so some VC, like VCs, and it's a
venture capitalist.
Yeah, and some VC invest in you, like, and I think you are the first person in the world that some person can invest in someone. Like,
yeah. I think it's
weird.
it's weird, but
that's cool.
Like, in the world right now, if you're an Ivy League graduate, so if you're from Harvard or Stanford or all of these like super elite colleges, you can get money up front from investors very early on in life, at 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old. And so I did not have that. As Europeans, we don't know venture capitalists. We did not study engineering and in high school and things like this. And so what I find really fascinating is that this token enables anyone on earth who wants to get started in life, get some early funding, to get that early funding from anyone on the internet who believes in them. And so this is what happened. Like, the Alex token is a group of people who believe in me, in my future, and are willing to invest in myself. And I think it's a great way for people to, jump in life and do what they love, instead of going for some trade-off, like less exciting career, but more stable one. So I think it's very exciting, this personal token primitive, where you create a token for people to invest in you so that you make money and you get some advice and community help out of it. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, nice. And can you explain, like, what is the blockchain, like how the system work? What is this cryptocurrency, personal token, extra? What is it?
Sure. So blockchain is a way. It's a new technology that was created first with Bitcoin, and now it's being extended to any sort of asset. It's just a way to put value online. So right now, you cannot have money on the internet. Because if you put money, or if you create any sort of money on the internet, people will steal it. Like, people will just copy paste it, and it just never worked before. That's why the internet is only data. So in the internet, you have emails, images, social media, Uber and things like this. It's for data, like GPS data for Uber, or Facebook, Instagram is images, but we never had money on the internet. Money is very dangerous because you can steal it. Like, having something of value is very hard, because the internet is like unlimited data all the time. And so if we create money, and if there's unlimited money, then money loses its sense of value, because you need scarcity in money. Like, you need to be very rare so that it's valuable, right? And so blockchain and cryptocurrencies was that way. It was the technology that enabled to put money online.
Okay.
And so it's very interesting, because that means that now you don't need a bank account anymore. You can just have a smartphone, and you can have a bank account with it, and anyone can create any sort of new money that they want. So that's crazy, because I just created my own money. It's called Alex. It's my personal token, and so you can invest in me like I am some sort of asset. And I find this very fascinating. So yeah, I think, explained simply, blockchain and so cryptocurrencies are a way to create value on the internet. And before that, you could not do that. You had to go through a bank account.
And a lot of people talk about, like, it's a Web3, like Web 1, it's before 2000, like just internet with Google image, and that's it. Web 2, it's like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. And Web 3, it's like the blockchain, and maybe in the future, how can be the new internet, like
Web 4?
Yeah, Web 4.
I don't know.
No, but the future of blockchain, like blockchain can can be the new internet, or?
Yes, I think so. So I think, for instance, so there's a lot of companies who are, whose value derives from its users. So Airbnb or Uber, there's a team of founders there, but it's mostly, like writers and drivers, and for Airbnb, it's hosts and guests. And so when there's so many people in those networks, if they had a common platform where anyone could own a part of the cryptocurrency of that system, and if everyone could own some part of the system, that would make the platforms much more efficient. So for instance, Uber right now, the team is pretty rent seeking. The rates on Uber is very high. I think they take 15% or something. But what if Uber was a token that was owned by the drivers and the riders? When you own part of it, then I think there will be it just decreases the middleman of, entrepreneurs that create platforms that become rent-seeking eventually. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the future of blockchain. The future of blockchain is that any platforms will be owned by its users. It will not be owned by entrepreneurs and investors only. Of course, there will still be entrepreneurs and investors. That's how you create companies. But now it will be more owned by the users. And so that will make everyone richer, and that will make the fees cheaper, and that just decreases the middleman. And so I think that's very interesting. And this is where we're going towards. So, it's a bit blurry because it's the future. We don't really know yet. Yeah. But I think this is what's going to happen. It's platforms owned by its users are going to emerge. And that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, in Facebook, there's billions of people in Facebook, but no one owns Facebook stocks. Yeah. Facebook is owned by the Facebook team. Mm-hmm. But, there's so many users that deserve to have some Facebook shares because they bring the value to the network by posting on Facebook. So, yeah, I think it's someone called it the ownership economy, which I think is very true. It's people own the platforms, and I think that would be very interesting. So that's, I think, is the future of the internet, where people can own the network that they engage in and participate in.
Yeah. And so you live in England and you live in San Francisco. What is the difference between USA and France, for example, in mentality, in mindsets? What is the difference?
So I would say that so in France and in Europe, there's not as many engineering talent, and there's a bit less, people are a bit less ambitious in Europe. So it's harder for the culture and the people and the education that they have to build new things, to create new companies, to create new products, to build technology, or to create a YouTube channel and things like this. It's harder for Europeans.
It's more easy in USA, for example.
Yes, I would say it's easier in the US. I mean, no, technically anyone in the world can create their own channel, but the mindset is easier in the US because it's more of a culture of taking more risks and taking the leap forward. Also changing careers. I don't think in Europe, people don't really change careers. So when they're 30-year-old and they want to change profession from, I don't know, a doctor to an entrepreneur and things like this, it doesn't really happen that often in Europe. But in the US, it's very common to switch jobs, to switch careers. And so there's this more ambivalent flexibility in the workforce that's really interesting in the US because you're more flexible. And I hope this lifestyle trickles down to Europe because I want Europe to do well. And I hope that they will be able to be more flexible and innovate more and take more risk. And I hope it's making progress that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, who inspires you every day when you wake up? Who is your favorite entrepreneurs?
My favorite entrepreneur, I would say it's Steve Jobs because. So I think right now Elon Musk is very famous.
Elon Musk.
So you really like Elon Musk? Yeah. But so for me, when I grew up, Elon Musk wasn't famous. Mm-hmm. And so the most famous entrepreneur at the time and the most successful was Steve Jobs. And I just find it fascinating because he really told me that technology is one of the best ways to create a positive impact in the world. And so I really resonated with it, and that's why like Steve Jobs really inspires me, because he really showed me that technology is like one of the best things you can do in your life, creating products that billions of people use. And you know, he released the iPhone when I was 13, and so that's why like it really was, I think I was 11 actually. So yeah, like the iPhone, the iPad, the iPod, just like changing, because every day you use your iPhone, so like every day I'm reminded of the impact that Steve Jobs had on me. So that's why like I think he's a very inspiring entrepreneur, and I think he really pushed the world forward, because our phones enable us, you know, to do a YouTube channel, for instance. Like that's really cool. So yeah, I would say Steve Jobs.
And do you have a fear? Like, do you have a fear about the future, or about the internet now? Optimist.
Oh, I have a fear, like my fear in
or
life
in
for
life,
myself,
yeah,
or
life,
a fear of technology going wrong.
No, just like, do you have
a fear in life?
In life in general. Right?
I would say I would be fearful to say something wouldn't work, and then it works. So that's why I love being optimistic. It's like I hate putting down things, because you never know what's gonna happen. It's very hard to know, and in hindsight, actually, like some of the craziest ideas were super successful. Like Snapchat, it's like photos that disappear. It's very weird. And at the time, people thought it was a bit crazy, but now Snapchat is a huge company. It's an enormous company. So my fear would be to like put down some ideas and to be wrong. So that's why like I'm very optimistic, and I always encourage people to like pursue what they love, because you never know what's gonna come out of it, and maybe it's gonna be successful.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have any fears?
No fear.
No fears? Nice.
Don't panic. And what is the thing that you are the most proud of?
The thing that I'm the most proud of? I would say it's probably yet to come. Like, one of my goals in life is to create a company. So I would say once I have a company that does really well, that is growing, and that has a positive impact in the world, I would be very proud of that. But so far, I'm proud of my journey. I've always stayed true to myself. I want to break into technology. I want to create a company, and it's going very well that way. And so I'm proud of everything that I've done, you know, and I guess the Alex token, my personal token, I'm proud of it. But the best is yet to come, and I hope that my company that I will do, or my protocol, or whatever it's called, I will be proud of this. So
you want to create like a huge startup, like a licorne?
A unicorn? Yeah. I'd love to start, I guess something that is a unicorn, or even bigger. Like, the sky is the limit.
And in the future, you prefer to live in USA than France, like in San Francisco, or?
I guess so. I mean, I like Paris. This is where our parents live, and like my family is there. But I think, it'd be better for me if I fly to the US. I just feel like it's the best place I should go for, like, you know, building technology.
SF is more technology than
San Francisco, for sure.
J'ai dit SF. Also, where can we find you on internet? Like, where can I follow you? Like on Twitter, So
you can find me on Twitter at Alex Masmej, Masmej. And then I have a website called alexmasmej.com. So just like my Twitter handle.com. And that's it. I think that's how you can keep up with me.
Okay, nice. Okay, so thank you so much, Alex, my brother.
Thank you so much, William. That was really nice. Thank you so much for interviewing me.
Hey. And don't forget.
So I really like this quote from Steve Jobs that goes, "When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try to not bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family, have fun, save a little money. That's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was built up by people
no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again. And so this is by Steve Jobs, and I really love this quote.